Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you guys on tonight. My goodness, I am thrilled to be a part of what this company 3 is doing. And if this is your first exposure to 3, you are in for a treat. I have such a lineup tonight, some really amazing special guests that have had incredible experiences on our products and cannot wait to share with you these life-changing stories. And so I'm excited. I have on here tonight with me one of my dear friends, Peggy Leibel. She is a licensed clinical physician. I'm sorry, not physician, therapist. She's a licensed therapist. And she is so amazing, you guys. She works with people day in, day out. She's been doing it for over 20 years. And there's something happening, I really believe right now in our world where everything is so fast paced. It's really hard to get that clarity of mind a lot of days. It's hard to stay focused. We've got more drugs and things like that than ever to try to help us with focus and clarity, and still more people who are struggling and confused. And a lot of that, I believe, has to do with diet and exercise and having the right nutrition. And see, the thing is, we have like this much food in our world, but we're still only getting about this much nutrition. And so what 3's done is they've created and they have 6 incredible products that help you in your daily wellness. And what really is the game changer for us, and this is what Peggy's going to share too, is how this is a game changer on the scientific side of that. Because yes, we use 12 different cellular delivery modalities in our products to make sure that you're getting the nutrition that you need. So if you're using one of our if you're using our multivitamin, or if you're using our detoxification product, or if you're using our amazing collagen, or if you guys are using our product for joints and inflammation, right? We've got all these different benefits that come, but there's lots of products out there, right? So what sets us apart? It's those 12 different cellular delivery modalities that guarantee up to 95% absorption into the cell. And so do you think if you were getting better nutrition on a daily basis, like the vitamins you were taking counted, they were really truly being absorbed at a better rate, that would make a big difference? Yes, I know you're already probably nodding your head. You're like, yes, Adrianne, you're not teaching me something new right now. But the reality is, yes, it would make a massive difference. And it also would probably help with your brain cognition, with the way that you feel, with the way that you're able to think, with the way that you're able to express yourself and share. Maybe you'll be happier and healthier. And really, at the end of the day, that's what you're going to find out about me. I've been doing personal training and health coaching for a long time. I used to be in outside sales and marketing, and I was tired and I was stressed. And what I found with this company is that their products actually work. They make a difference. And usually what I do if I'm sitting in front of you, I'd be like, hey, raise your hand and tell me if you have vitamins, minerals, or supplements sitting in your house somewhere right now. And everybody raises their hand. And I say, how many of you guys are using those on a consistent basis? And the majority of people are like, oh, it's hit and miss, right? So we want to make that process more simplified for you. We have a more simplified line of products. There's only 6 products, and we've got some, really the science behind them is magnificent. So I mean, I'm sure that Peggy, you can jump on. I keep sharing, like, come on, Peggy, are you there? Thank you. You can jump on with me. Okay. I'm like, she's not here yet. Okay. So welcome, Peggy. And maybe you can help nerd out a little bit on 3 and our products and everything they're doing. But first and foremost, I want you to share with them a little bit more about yourself, your background, why you became a therapist. And like, really, you have such a beautiful story. So will you share a little bit about that first? Like, let's slow this down to speed up. And like, let's start with like, Peggy, you're a professional. Like, why did you say yes to this? You could be recommending anything, but why this? And let's just start with you. Tell me more about you and why you became a therapist. Let's start with that. Okay.
Yes. And I just want to start out by apologizing for the lighting. I live in a very small town in Kansas, an hour north of Kansas City, and we had power and tower issues today. So packed up our stuff. I'm at my husband's physical therapy office. So then it's medical office lighting. So sorry about this. But anyway, we made it work, right? Because it's a challenge, and I'm not letting that get in our way of sharing tonight. Again, like Adrianne said, I have been, I went to undergraduate school and graduate school, and I have graduate degrees in clinical psychology and marriage and family therapy. And just early on, I really just wanted to get into a field of serving others. With that, I have been able to do this for over 24 years, to age myself a little bit. My husband and I have been married for 26 years. We have a 22-year-old son at the United States Naval Academy, a 20-year-old daughter at Franciscan University in Ohio. So we're empty nesters, which just is another way and reason that I could really dig into this company. As a clinician, I have studied for years about, and you go to continuing ed and you always hear about what we put in our body affects our mental health. It used to be spoke about a little bit here and there, but now we are really talking about, you cannot go to a conference without them talking about total body wellness, our overall health connected with our mental health. And so with that, it's always been exciting for me, but we could really roll up our sleeves and I could really tell anybody that comes to me for mental health issues, it's not weird for me anymore to go, let's talk a little bit more about your health. And so those are the first things that I do. And I just love this company start to finish because it goes exactly along with all the things that we have studied in the mental health world. And now to have a company and these products come together and it just fits like a perfect puzzle, Adrianne.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So you said it perfectly. It does fit like a perfect puzzle. And I believe that there's a reason for that. I do believe like when you're talking about this, just like in therapy, things need to fit together in a perfect puzzle too, right? So I love that. Can you tell me more about how proper nutrition affects mental health, like directly?
Yes. Okay. So, and I will try to keep this as plain and simple as possible, but I do want to just a little bit because I just am passionate about what I do, and I want to inform people who are out there and listening that mental health is not taboo anymore. It used to be. One of the things that happened with COVID is we started talking about mental health more. Mental health has been taboo, and we're working on it over the years, and then COVID happened, and all of a sudden we realized there's more than just us who are being really quiet about it in the closet, feeling stressed and anxiety and depressive symptoms. And so if we talk about that just a little bit, I want to be able to say that for anyone that's listening, 1 in 5 adults, and I'm just talking about statistically adults, have suffered from a mental health episode in their life. And so the reason I bring that up, Adrianne, is just to normalize that whoever is on here live or listening to this, you have personally gone through something or somebody close to you has. And so 1 in 5 people have suffered from a mental health episode. That doesn't mean we don't have to make it big and scary. It just means we've had an episode of some challenging times. And so with that, the most common are depressive symptoms and anxiety symptoms. And to even go a step further, depression is one of the leading causes of disability in the United States. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's huge. And so, yes, everyone thinks of disabilities as just physical, but depression and depressive symptoms could also, disable people from leading a normal day-to-day life, getting up and going to work, getting up and doing your social things. And so it does affect people. And that's why people they might wait a little bit because they're not sure what it is, but they end up in a doctor's office or a clinician's office saying, I don't know what's going on, but I feel different. And we start talking about symptoms. And so those symptoms could go, hand in hand with together depressive and anxiety symptoms. It's kind of hard to see forest for the trees, but you feel fatigued, you feel tired, you have anxiety, you worry a lot, you just have a lack of joy. All of those things could happen. And again, 1 in 5 adults feel these things and they're not sure why. The reason I also want to talk about it is 40% of people who suffer from a depressive episode also suffer, their chances go up. I should say, 40% of people who suffer from a depressive episode also suffer from a cardiovascular or a metabolic disease. That's huge. Yes, it's huge.
Sorry, that really hit me for personal reasons as well, but I'm not going to interrupt yet because I feel like you're sorry. I just you got me, girl. Okay.
And so that's why when people sit in front of us and they're talking about, just their mental health issues, I can't help but go, okay, let's talk a little bit about your health. And I think mental health professionals are completely moving in that direction because cardiovascular and metabolic diseases, they shorten your lifespan. we all know people who have blood sugar diseases, blood pressure issues, growing of your waistline and all the health issues that go with that. I'm not, and I want to make sure that we're not saying that any of our products treat any specific disease or a symptom that I'm saying, but I just am trying to, really let us come together on what mental health and physical health, whether we take care of it or whether we need to take care of it. These symptoms go hand in hand together. And it's somebody who may be just thinking they have mental health issues. We need to look at their total body health and address that first. I'm not against psychotropics. I see people every single day who come into my office or the clinic, and they do need some help chemically. But so many people, if we would look at their total body health and make sure that they're getting physicals and they're getting proper nutrition, which is what this is about, right? Proper nutrition, they could feel better, because so many doctors, clinical people in their life will say, okay, let's straighten up what you eat. Let's get on a diet. American Heart Association is like the biggest, the easiest way to say, okay, follow a good heart healthy diet. The thing is, diets aren't easy for people to succeed at. So they hear that, they want to do that, but it's not easy. And then not only is it not easy, we know that our food sources in this day and age are not filling those gaps.
Right.
So they can look at that piece of paper and they could eat all of that food, and we haven't filled the gaps. And so we're still having some deficiencies in our health, in our gut, in our brain health, that gut-brain axis. And so we're not feeling better.
Yeah, where they're talking about, your third brain is actually the microbiome in your gut, and what are we eating on a regular basis, and how it's affecting us metabolically as well as mentally. Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head. And one thing I'm really impressed by with you too, as a therapist, is that you're talking about all of it. I know that there's a lot of other professionals out there that are just so much more comfortable getting a kickback from a pharmaceutical company. Like, oh, here you go. Here's your drugs for the day. Good luck. Come back and tell me how you feel. If that one doesn't work, we'll try another. And I know that that's not a bad thing either, but I don't know that all medical professionals are speaking about nutrition the way that you are. Like, what was the change for you? Because I'm sure when you were in school, they probably didn't have, 50 classes on nutrition. It was more, you're studying the brain, you're studying neurons, you're studying this, you're studying what does this chemical compound do for this? What's the side effect, right? And you're really saying that through health and wellness, you're focused on side benefits overall versus side effect.
And we started by noticing children. And again, I might throw some diagnosis out, just go with me here. We started noticing that children with behavior problems, attention problems, we started looking at their diet. Are we putting, are they getting caffeine? Are they not getting caffeine? What dyes are, and we start looking for the red dye and all of that. And so I think mental health started with looking at what we were putting in our children's bodies. And then all of a sudden it just made sense to let's look at now as we age and the different diseases that are attacking our body. Could that also be what's happening, when we have mental health issues start bothering us as we age? So we started as children and the research was there. And early in my career, I was a director of a children's department. And so therefore I was looking at all of that. Then I grew into this naturally, just has progressed. And it definitely it was easier to talk about kids. And now we're looking at, hey, as adults, we are not getting the nutrition that we need. And then now we really understand, and we need to get better at it, but the gut-brain axis, because we have neurotransmitters that are in our brain that control our moods. It controls the stress and how we handle our stress. It controls our happiness. It controls the change between happiness and not happiness. And I just want to share with you, serotonin and dopamine are one of our major neurotransmitters in our brain. And anyone that has experience in mental health knows that those neurotransmitters are talked about a lot. But half of the dopamine and 95% of the serotonin is produced in our gut. So we can't anymore not talk about the gut-brain axis, and it's a, axis, and it's a real thing. And so when we start looking at that, they're going to talk about, and this is why I get so excited, they talk about minerals, they talk about vitamins, they talk about detox, they talk about an anti-inflammatory, they talk about omegas, and they talk about polyphenols. Hello, here are our products. So when we look at that, and we could say, okay, so let's straighten up our health, and let's change, and let's get the things that I just listed in our diet, so then our mental health could change. This is huge because people don't know where to get all of that. People, it is hard to get that in our food source. People are overwhelmed with that. We are not dealing with everybody being a specialist or a nutritionist like you, Adrianne, who really understands what you need to eat. And then if you do understand it, it's still really hard to get all of that in a day. So this is where, if I could make everybody that talks to me and comes into the clinic, or comes and talks to me on these products, I would. I can't, but they are going to hear me talk about it.
You know what? I'm gonna, well, and that's it. It's your willingness. It's your willingness to say, hey, this is more than me just saying, you've had this emotional trauma, or you've had this emotional, you've had these experiences in your past. You have these things that we're going to work to, make not so heavy to carry, things like that. But a lot of it is just saying too, like being able to get you into a place where you ultimately are more open and you can make more consistent changes. Then I can see how nutrition it comes full circle. It would come full circle to be able to do that. And I'm saying that from personal experience as well, right? And I tell people this all the time, Peggy, like one of the reasons why I got into health and wellness and nutrition from a really young age anyways, like why I even started realizing the importance of it, is because my grandfather was a doctor. He was a diagnostic specialist in Dearborn, Michigan, and my grandmother was his RN and helped run his practice. And for me, what I noticed is that they knew everything about the body still, but guess what? He was still stressed out. He still struggled with mental health. He still struggled with heart disease and all this other stuff that he had going on a day-to-day basis. Do you know what I'm saying? And he wasn't necessarily doing the things that he knew he was supposed to do. So how can we make that more simplified? And that's the reason I got into it, because both my grandparents passed away within 18 months of each other when I was really young. And I thought to myself, what's the best way to be proactive about this on a daily basis? There has to be something in the ground that's going to help us, right? There has to be something out there that's going to make this like easier to move through. So, and I think a lot, like when you talked about, like you started with kids stuff and things too, one of the things I realized too, like early on, is how much our stress load affects as well. Like just our food affects our stress, right? You know what I mean? So like what we're putting in, we're getting in, honestly, we're getting out what we're putting in. And so sometimes if we're putting in, nutritionally devoid, that's what we're getting out. We're getting out mentally devoid, like being able to function at our best. So that's something I got really excited about when I found out that these products were liposomal, that they use glycoprotein matrices, that they use different absorption modalities, adjuvants, micelle, like things like that, that help the products actually get into the body. It's so cutting edge that we have that entire epigenetic study. Like what we're saying is that the way that our products are put together, they're actually changing gene expression in the body, things that we thought that we were predisposed to, right? That it was going to have to happen anyways, because it's in my family history or my lineage. And now we're saying that's not the case, because if we really can get good quality nutrition in, and the science is that part of it's doing its job. And so for those of you guys who might not know this, liposomal delivery technology and mixed with a lot of these other ones, it's kind of like if you were to go in to an IV drip therapy center and you were to get just liposomal vitamin C, everything that's in that bag typically is coated in a liposome, a lipid layer that guarantees up to 95% absorption into the cell. Now you're going, well, but it's an IV, so of course it's absorbing. Yes, you probably are feeling really good. You're paying a lot of money for a saline solution to get fluids to feel good with a little bit of vitamin C. So in my experience, the way that I would relate the way that our products scientifically are put together is that all you're doing is avoiding the bag. You can just ingest these products. They have liposomes. They already have that in there. You don't have to sit in the IV drip therapy center unless you want some fluids with your vitamins. That's fine too. But it's super costly, and these are so cost effective. And I think a lot of the reason, Peggy, why people struggle with their daily wellness is they don't think they have the money. B, that they're not sure they have the time. Like they think they've got to go hire the personal trainer, spend 2 hours a day in a gym, have every meal made by another company, or, you know, that they don't have time to meal prep, all that kind of stuff. And so it becomes this, can I afford to have better health in my life? Can I afford to have better mental wellness in my life too, right? If I could only have this, then I'd be happy. And so I bet you hear a lot of that too. Well, if my lifestyle was this way, then I could feel this way. And so what I love about what we're doing globally, because we're in 14 countries, you guys, we are a global e-commerce business. We're in 14 countries. Wherever a flag is at in those countries, people can order 3 products, you know, so we're online. So make sure that you get back to the person that invited you on here for more information about that, right? About how to order. But here's the thing. We're making it simple. 6 products, highly absorbable, changing your gut microbiome, feeding the gut microbiome. You don't have to spend a ton of money, but what's going to happen is you're going to feel better longer. So there's an exchange happening. You know, there's an exchange when you're you know, consuming, and there's another exchange when you're sharing with others. Right now we're sharing with others. But for you, have you noticed a difference with the people that say yes to trying 3? Have you noticed a difference in their mental wellness, A, and B, is it worth it for them? Is it worth it for them to go, hey, I'm doing therapy and that's my thing, but also I'm going to order these products and use them? Like, is it worth it?
Yes, and so many people, if they pause and truly listen, they are thrilled that they could try these plant-based products that I'm speaking of before they put in a psychotropic and, you know, in a chemical, which we do need. Lots of people need them, but some people, if we just change their health, they may not need a psychotropic, or they have had a lot of different medications and they haven't had the success that they want. And so when they add and they get their health under control and they move their body and they put these products in their body, all of a sudden everything starts working and firing the way that it should. So even if they do need that psychotropic, even if they do need that medication, it is working so much better. And so they don't need to add another or up the dose, because their energy, their mental clarity, all of that is improved just based on these plant-based products. So a lot of people, they are really excited to hear that there are plant-based natural products that they can afford before or in addition to what they're doing with the prescription.
Oh my gosh. She said it. She said it. And I love that you said that. I love that you said that it's in addition to, for those that really do need that. And for those
Absolutely.
that might not, maybe you don't need as much over time. Who knows? It just depends, right? Of course, again, we're not here to cure, prevent, treat, or mitigate any type of disease, but I do believe that when the body gets what it needs, it does what it's supposed to do. And that's exactly what I'm hearing you say too.
Yes. Yeah, people feel better. What happens is over time, people end up adding a medication on top of another medication on top of another medication to treat different symptoms. And it could be treating fatigue and mental, you know, confusion and not clarity and all of those things. And so if we get this going great, they don't have to have as many chemicals and medications in their body. And again, I'm not anti-medication, but let's see what we could do naturally and let the body work the way it was intended, and get plants in there, all natural products, and then add what we need after that.
So one of the things I'm hearing from you too is that it really is, it's an approach where you say, okay, well, first what you're saying is they're slowing down. They're having awareness of where they're at. They're going, okay, I'm aware that I might need some assistance, right? You know, that kind of a thing. And then they're coming to you and going, okay, this is what's going on. I need help. And you're saying, let's address this full circle. And by the way, here's these products. And as soon as they start consuming those products, you're noticing a difference as well. And they're realizing like, this is achievable, whether I'm using a medication that's been given to me along with it or not, because I will tell you that's one of the number one questions I get all the time, Peggy, is somebody will say, well, I'm on, XYZ medication. Can I still take these products? And so you're basically saying these products are food, that they're
Yes,
food.
always.
Okay, talk a little bit about that.
Yes, always. And I have yet, so I have yet encountered anybody who was on a psychotropic medication have any ill effects from these products. What happens is they typically, all they're talking about is how much better they feel. I have not had a, somebody say that they've had a problem. And then the fact that it's in the physician's desk reference. I got a text last night. I was on the treadmill walking and somebody said, okay, so I want to get in, I want to get my order in. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. What's the best way though for me to let the doctor know, what these products are? And so I was able to get on the app and send her the information, let her, make sure, let your doctor know that they're in the physician's desk reference or the digital reference. And then I was also able to obviously send her the PDF with all of the, every single ingredient and each product. And she was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, yes. And so she was very excited. She was very excited because we can, for anybody that they see, any clinician, any doctor, any medical professional, now they could look at that and know of any ingredient. So they too now could have, the affirmation of, okay, this is just not another supplement. When, when professionals see it in the physician's desk reference or the digital reference, I know it's changed. I still say physician's desk reference. When they see that, that's very clear-cut data on why and how 3 stands apart. And I think that is exciting because it is now not something that we, could just say, oh, supplements really don't work. You just excrete them. You're paying a lot of money for nothing. We can't say that about our company. And so that's super exciting.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that to me is a huge deal. Sometimes I even forget that we're in the PDR, because I'm just working with like every day to day, but you're not, because like you're working with medical professionals who want to know like, hey, I heard you made a suggestion or whatever about this. And all of a sudden it's like, they can find it. That's huge for them to be able to, and yourself included. I love how you're like, I still call it the physician's desk reference. I've been doing this for 24 years. I still call it the physician's desk reference, right? So you're able to go there, but that's a lot of, praise. I mean, to be able to come in and say that all 6 of these products are listed in there. So for those of you guys listening in too, so all 6 of our 3 products, they are listed in PDR. You can go to pdr.net. That's what we're talking about, physician's desk reference. So if you are a medical professional listening in tonight, you'll be able to find 3 international in there and be able to research all 6 of our products. And we have a clinical dossier attached to them, to every single ingredient, explaining the benefit to the human body as well. So you'll know exactly like how to implement for who and what, right? Who, what, where, when, why, all that stuff. And at the same time, I love to be able to say that because out of the 19 companies that are nutraceutical based like ourselves, we're the only one that has their entire line that's been accepted. We're the only one that has more than 2 products, and we're the only one that has a collagen product in there. So real quick, Peggy, I'm going to ask this. Do you have any particular 1 or 2 maybe products that you promote more than others, that you share more than others for mental wellness?
So I love all of them, but if I'm going to, and I try 3. I try 3 different, if I could get people to get the Vitality and I just let them know you need a basic vitamins that you absorb. Your body needs these things. This is just to get you to a baseline, is what I tell them. You have to have a good baseline. You cannot eat as much food as you need to get the vitamins and minerals that Vitality has. But then we need, for our guts, we need, our Purify. We really need to help with the Vitality and the Purify, we really need that for the gut-brain axis. But guess what also causes us issues with mental health? And I spoke about it earlier, is inflammation. So then there's Revive. So those 3, if I can get Vitality, Purify, and Revive, those are the 3. I take all of them, and so does my family. But if we needed to start with 3 different products, those would be the products.
Mhm.
And now the thing is, I love Eternal because you can't not say one good thing about Eternal. Like I can't go a day without knowing I have CoQ10 and resveratrol, right? So, but if I'm just sticking to gut brain axis, the axis, then I'm going to do Vitalite, Purify, and Revive.
So Vitalite, our daily multivitamin,
Yes.
Purify, it's actually a detoxification product, right? It comes in, it's not a laxative. It literally comes in and helps detoxify heavy metals, artificial sugars. It's getting rid of things the body doesn't need. It's priming your pumps, right? It's feeding your gut microbiome at the same time, and it's pulling out, it's drawing out things we don't need, which, hey, we all have, right? From the environment we live in. And also if we've been on several medications prior, we do typically have more heavy metals, right? And then the third one you said was Revive, which is for inflammation, you guys, and it's based on turmeric and curcumin and different types of mushrooms that help with it gives you a healthy inflammation status in the body, because some inflammation is good, like if you're working out, but some inflammation is not good if you're trying to think more clearly, or you maybe have some chronic issues, things like that going on in the body, that they can help eliminate that and focus in on helping create a better homeostasis. So because they do say, and I don't know if this is something you heard, but it's definitely something I heard, that about 73% of us are walking around in more of an inflamed state due to gut imbalancing issues. So we're talking about, maybe having, swollen joints and, pain, aches and things like that. So I'm trying not to say anything that's not compliant right now.
I know that's
I know. So, little things like that, guys. So if that's something that you have struggled with, or you previously struggled with, or somebody who has, that's what Peggy's saying, is that these three products address inflammation as well as your mental health. So I think that's amazing. And I know I love Eternal too, you guys. So Eternal is a little purple pouch. It's an antioxidant pouch. It has liposomal resveratrol. It's got glutathione. It's got beautiful, beautiful ingredients in it that help the body cope with stress. So do you know anybody who's not stressed, Peggy, just from therapists? No, you've never met somebody not stressed?
Very few people, because the world, like we could have non-stressful days, and I love that. I love the fact that if everything's going great, some days are better than not. But we just have life. And if you even put on the news ever, there's stressful things. So not everybody stays in a high level of stress, but do we all experience that discomfort? Yes. And with the products, I do love and take all of the products. And like I said, it's hard to pick a favorite, but if I just stick on task, those are the three. But yeah, I don't skip a day of Eternal.
Me neither. I tell people every day, I'm like, if I could give it to your dogs, I would. I want everybody, you and your whole entire family, on one Eternal a day. And it's things that you can't normally get. You can't get all those polyphenols and those antioxidants in the food you eat. You can't. You just can't. So you'd be eating for hours, right, trying to get all the what's in that product. So I do also really love that product and think that it helps me a lot mentally. And also sometimes too, I think we have weird habits and stuff like that, just like coping mechanisms through our life. Like sometimes we stress eat, or we stress this or stress, and I noticed that I have that. So having Eternal on hand really helps me with that too, with stress eating. And instead of I'll be like, well, I'm going to go have an Eternal and then I'll see how I feel, stuff like that. So anyways, well, hey, it's time. Guess what, Peggy? We've got some really incredible stories that we're going to listen to together. So stay tuned. And I'm going to bring one of them on each time. But I think this is my favorite part about this call too, is having health professionals like yourself who have said yes to three. And it's beautiful that you're not the only one, you guys. In 12 months, our company's only been around for 12 months now. We have over 780 health professionals like Peggy who are actively using and promoting our products. So that's a really big deal. And that's why we do these Wellness Wednesdays every week. And then on the other side of that is real people, real results. People who are saying yes to three, they're ordering the products, they're trying them, they're putting them in their mouth, and they have some things to share with us. So I am going to have Jen Trompeter from Kansas City join us right now. She is a real estate agent. And Peggy, you can stay on with me. And then we're going to chat a little bit here about how Jen's experience with three has been going, is going, will be going. How you doing, Jen?
I am awesome. Thank you, Adrianne.
Good. Well, thanks for being on with us tonight. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about how 3 is working for you in your life.
Yes, absolutely. So, wow, Peggy, you did a great job. And I've known Peggy for a little over 20 years. So she is the one who introduced this to me. And actually, I am one of the people that has like a chemical imbalance and some genetics that have allowed me to get to be on medication most of my life. I have had mental health challenges since I was a kiddo, and a lot of my family and friends as well. I've actually lost a lot of people, unfortunately, to mental illness. So I love people like Peggy out in the world helping people, and like she said, making this less taboo and everything, because it when I was 19 and I was first put on medications, which was also a long time ago, it wasn't talked about, and it was something I didn't want to be on, and so I took myself off for years and years. So along the years, throughout the years, I would realize also as I grew older just how important nutrition is, and how that nutrition affects your mind and body and your overall health and well-being. And so ever since I've been on medication, I've also been in the search of health and wellness products that would help me alongside that to either get off the medications or lessen them, or just have that good maintenance going on. So as I've aged, I've also, with my wonderful genetics, have also had some issues with high blood pressure and cholesterol, a weakened immune system, and some gut issues. So those are kind of the things that really brought me more to 3. And so, like we've been talking about, the gut does control just so much of your mind and body. And so, I was looking for some supplements a couple years ago, and went into a local pharmacy, and left with about $500 worth of amazing products that they made themselves and that were plant based and all, not liposomal, but plant based at the time. And I was pretty excited about trying them, except for not feeling that they were going to be sustainable. That's more than a car payment for most people. So to do that every month for your supplements is quite a thing. So thankfully, I was invited to an event not too long ago by Peggy, and I had all my supplements there, and she had given me the Vitalite that day, and I decided to take that instead of my big pill case. And within about 2 hours, I asked her, what in the world is in this stuff? Because I already started feeling better. I felt like I had more energy. And ever since then, it's really helped with my gut issues, with the prebiotics and the probiotics and all of that, which I know is overall all helping with my mental state as well. I also really love, I'm very thankful that she invited me to that, but I also really love the immune, based on my kind of weakened immune system. That has been one that I can take, double it up, or take 2 or 3 in one day, or 4 or 5. And when I'm catching a cold, and it seems to, make that cold stop way quicker than what I was used to. And finally, the Eternal, with the CoQ10, and having heart disease in my family as well, and having the, high blood pressure and cholesterol. I know when I take all of these, I'm kind of like Peggy, I like to take all of them. I love all of them. But if I had to pick some of the ones that have like really stuck out to me, those are the ones that I would say. And I don't want to miss a day. I mean, I'm so thankful to have been introduced to this company and to into these products. And I love what all of you guys are doing, especially on these topics. Helping people with their mental and physical health through nutrition and supplements is fantastic.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Like, seriously,
Yeah.
I love that you guys have this major connection. You guys have known each other for years. And I love that you shared very openly and vulnerably, like, hey, like, I have struggled with this. This is something that's gone on with my family. And like Peggy said at the very beginning of this call, it's 1 in 5 people that actually struggle with this. And so you're just sharing from the heart here, saying, hey, this is what I found. I've tried other things. I've spent money on other stuff. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Peggy, anything you want to add about Jen and your friend?
No, I'm just so happy for her. I've seen her on a journey of, we've known each other for 22 years, and of really trying to get to the base of what can help her and change her nutrition. And so I couldn't not share, and I just love seeing all the results that she's having. It's just, I absolutely love it. And that's what keeps us continuing to share with people that we love and care about.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Jen. I really appreciate it.